What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake.
And I'm Chris.
And we are joined today by Wes from Toolbox Buzz. How's it going, Wes?
Good morning. Doing really well, thanks. Thanks for having you guys. I'm glad you guys can make it here today.
Yeah, we're glad we could be here as well. It's a rainy, overcast day, but we got some pretty cool stuff in store for you today, guys. Let me flip you around and show you what we're going to do. So Wes, like I said, is from Toolbox Buzz. Go check him out on YouTube, Instagram, all the social medias. But Wes has invited us out here today for a top handle battery powered chainsaw evaluation, I guess we could call it. Wes, what do you got in store for us?
So what this is we call this the head-to-head. So head-to-heads at Toolbox Buzz are kind of like our bread and butter. What we do is we end up picking a category of tool. We design a set of evaluation criteria for that tool. Then we go and identify all the market samples out there that would meet that criteria. And then we send requests to the manufacturers to see if they want to participate. So what we have here today is we have a lineup of 8 total battery top handle saws. Now back in 2020, I did a head-to-head here where we focused on rear handle saws. So what I wanted to do with this test is make it more pro-oriented. So there's a lot of battery saw options out there which are great for homeowners and DIYers, but this saw is really a professional tool that caters to a professional user. So these are some of the best that you'll find in the world right now, and we want to see how they stack up against each other. Going to be doing some speed cut testing, some runtime testing, getting them in the hands of guys like you and some other tree guys that we have on our way here to help us out, and just really see who is who's the best right now, or who's the best for your particular application.
Cool. Well, this really applies, obviously, guys. You know, Chris and I do tree work for a living. We're professional arborists. So I think that's why Wes invited us out here. We're really excited to try out all these saws. We have used battery-powered top handle saws in the past, but they were some of the first iterations of them when they were first coming out. So technology has really gone quite a long ways since then. So I think these saws are some pretty formidable, contenders to potentially replace a regular gas-powered top handle saw. So we're excited to test them out, and we'll check back in a little bit. All right, guys, we're going to be starting up with the cutting. Chris has been designated as the test cutter. Each saw, he's going to try and stall it out in like real-world cutting conditions, and then we are going to get a diameter of the log that he's cutting, and he's going to do a speed cut cookie test. I believe he's going to go down, up, down. So 3 cuts per saw and a stall out test. Here we go. Go ahead.
Thanks, kid. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, this is going to be the Greenworks commercial stall test. Here we go. So wow. I had to work a little bit harder at that than I did on the Echo. It didn't really feel like that it was losing that much power as we were making it through the cut.
Yeah, that didn't seem like it wanted to stall.
No. Which was surprising to me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting much.
So this Greenworks, guys, this is not the Greenworks you buy at Tractor Supply or anything like that. This is the Greenworks Pro. So this is their line specifically designed for pro users. So it's not the off-the-shelf, like kind of regular one. This is a more tailor-made. So it's my first time playing around with the Greenworks Pro tool too, so I'm glad that we can get a little bit of feedback.
Where would you get this Greenworks Pro?
That's the thing, online. They also, I think they do fleet service. So like if you're interested in like a fleet of tools, they can outfit you because they're doing mowers, trimmers, blowers, everything for the landscaping trades. But in addition, I think they've even got battery UTVs for like job sites now and stuff like that as well. All right, speed test. 3, 2, 1, go.
That seemed much faster.
Dude, I'm very impressed.
So aside from the chain tensioning issue that I was having before, I still don't like this saw because of the dead man switch up here. It's not really a push down, it's a push forward and then push down. It seems a little bit awkward to do. Maybe it just needs some break-in time, but
So your hand has to slide forward.
yeah, you kind of have to push it with the palm of your hand forward and then down, rather than just straight down. Otherwise, it just doesn't go. Nice added safety, but kind of a pain when you're trying to get work done.
Nice added safety. This is the first time anybody ever said that.
All right, stall test. Ready? So far, it seems like they're all kind of stalling around the same time, just about when the full width of the bar is inside the wood. About the same amount of pressure, though, I feel. Speed cut. 3, 2, 1, go.
That was fast. That was fast.
Yeah, that felt a
Half the
lot
time.
faster.
11 seconds.
11 seconds.
Wow.
It's like half
Compared
the
to
speed.
20 and 22.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
stall test.
Felt like it had the same chain speed and power as the Greenworks, but it's definitely stalled a lot easier.
Well, now let's keep in mind this is the longest bar out of all these saws,
that bar
right?
is
It's a
2 inches longer.
16-inch bar.
Or no, is it a 14?
I think that's a 14 and those are 12s, right?
Oh, okay.
This is
14.
the only saw that's running a 14 right now.
Okay, so longer
12.
chain, you got to take that into account. Yeah.
That was the worst stall, right?
Yeah.
Seemed like that stalled
That was
pretty
all
easy, and you
like
did it
stuff.
twice.
It
Yeah.
stalled
Pretty quick.
fast. Yeah, definitely.
And again, that was right as the bar. Speed test, 40 volt. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fine. 15. Now that's a power tool company.
15 seconds.
That's a power tool company.
2 batteries. So that was interesting. Maybe I just didn't have the chain speed up, but it stalled out pretty quick, but then powered through the rest of the log. So,
You want to try it again, or you think you're good? You tell me, man. We got.
I mean,
plenty of wood.
I'll try it again. We'll
Yeah.
we'll see if it was a chain speed issue before I touch the wood.
But at the same time, that just happened on the other Makita. It stalled, and then you went right back.
Well, the last Makita, I sunk the whole bar into the wood before it jammed. This one barely made
Oh,
a quarter of the
okay.
way through.
Okay.
It is a balance
Yeah.
between how much you can really lean in with these saws and how much you kind of sit back and let them do the work. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be the learning curve, I think, for everybody playing around with these.
Well, once he did his speed cut test,
Yeah.
that thing, the Makita did great through it. So,
Well, I was just using gravity on
Right.
that one, so it's a little bit
so
different than
you're
this.
not actually you're making it stall.
Right.
So you got to keep that in mind that it's not.
Intentionally.
Yeah, you're intentionally
We're making it fail.
Yeah. All right, stress test again. Still halfway through. And then it was almost like while the chain was touching the wood, it didn't have enough power to make that cut to get it going again. You got to pull it out of your cut, get it started, and then put it back in. Makita 2 speed test. 3, 2, 1. Time. Sorry. I'm a little late.
13.
All right, this is the Milwaukee 12 amp hour battery stress test. Here we go. So there were the first one was definitely the saw saying I'm about to stall, but it seemed to power through it. The second one, my finger slipped off the trigger. This powered right through it, no problem.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, is that the torque on those things are insane.
Okay. Let's give it
Why did your finger fall off? Because it's not like, doesn't sit in your hand like the other ones? Is it comfortable?
It's
just
comfortable. It's a
slip?
little bit heavy in the back. I think I just didn't have the right
Yeah.
kind of grip on it. I was a little bit more towards the back of the trigger.
I look at that thing and it reminds me of like Schwinn, like beachcomber handlebars compared to like some of these other ones here. It's so wide.
Nicely done, kiddo.
It's 4 3/4. Speed test with the Milwaukee 12 amp battery. 3, 2, 1. Go.
That was fast.
Fastest one yet. 11:10.
Wow. I might have to take back some of those mean
What
things
was
I
that?
said. Looking for
What was the width on that one?
4 3/4 inch.
Yeah,
So really,
we are getting smaller in size.
yeah.
I think we're gonna.
Same as the last one though.
Test on the Stihl top handle. This is the older generation, the
161.
161T. The one that we use down at the town, we don't like it all that much because of this button safety, and it does seem to lack power, but this is going to be a true test. So here's the stress test. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, it stalled once. Didn't feel like it was moving through the wood as easily as the rest. You know, it is what it is. Speed test on the Stihl 161T. 3, 2, 1, go.
Time.
12:78.
It's fast.
It was fast.
So this one actually, because this is the C, the MSA 220C designation, this one actually has an electronic oil level, bar oil level indicator. So when I come to turn the saw on here, I'm going to get my green power light, and then it's also, if I get this red light up here on the top, so that means chain brake is on, green is power. If this red light on top comes on, that means that the sensor is indicating that the bar oil level is either really dirty or it's getting to the bottom and it's time to stop and fill your bar oil back up.
Well, and that's actually a really nice feature, because when we have used these battery-powered saws, you know, they just go and go and go. You don't have to refill it with gas, so
Right.
you don't get in that habit of putting oil in them.
Right.
So a lot of the time, to be totally honest, we run them just completely dry of bar oil, and you know, you forget to refill it. So having that indicator is nice. Is this the only one with that indicator?
This is the only one. Now
That's a good feature by Stihl. I mean, I feel like that's them listening to the customers.
We are talking about the Cadillac. We're talking
Right.
about the Cadillac of professional grade features from Stihl, one of, if not the biggest names in chainsaws in the world. So they really threw everything they had at this design. So this feature is also in the MSA 300, which is the rear handle new saw that we don't have here today, that is designed for these new bigger AP500S battery packs. So real quick, we were talking a little bit about this before we started testing today. This new battery, the 500S, this actually uses flat cell packs. So, you know, unlike the traditional coin cell looking coin stack looking batteries you see, this is flat battery cell packs stacked up inside the battery pack. So it gives you more potential energy and more power. It's a more efficient design. So imagine cell phone batteries. Cell phone batteries are flat packed. So you have a whole bunch of cell phone style batteries stacked up inside of this housing, and that's where your potential energy is stored. It's kind of like what DeWalt's doing with their power stack batteries now for their power tools. They're using flat cell technology in those battery packs. One thing I will say is this battery, if you're going to use the entire thing, you're going to get full cutting power all the way to the very end, but then it's going to take longer to cool down, and it's going to have to sit for longer before you can plug it into a charger, because it's going to heat up, and those flat cells to have no airflow moving through them. Now, the traditional coin stack cells that you see, like in the AP300 batteries that we have over there and some of the other tools, those, when it's in the charger, you get airflow moving across those cells, so they cool down faster. You're gonna have a longer downtime with the 500 batteries if you're gonna run them completely depleted. So again, another consideration. Big expensive battery that's gonna have to sit for longer before you can actually recharge it.
Now, the first day of summer was like 2 days ago, right? So how does ambient, outdoor temperature, does that affect these batteries at all? Is that a consideration when buying these?
Not really, because we're talking about the core. Like, I could run a thermometer on the outside of this, and we're never going to get a real idea of what the internal temperature of the battery is. So it's the cells inside that we have to wait to cool down, or it's going to sit in that charger on a cool down cycle longer, being cycled with just airflow to try and get it to cool before it can start charging that cell back up.
All right, Stihl 220 TC stress test.
Wow.
Yeah, that had zero lack of power all the way through that. I was throwing chip like crazy, which is nice. It is also nice that this has a full-size chain. It's not half, it's not small. This so far is preferred as far as the stress test goes.
Cool.
Right.
That just sounded fast.
Yeah.
The chain speed.
That looked like it was meant to do that.
Yeah.
All right, Stihl 220 TC speed test. 4 3/4. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
8
seconds. So that just cut 4 seconds off from the competition. Wow.
Wow.
That thing, and that blew chips in my face like that.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah. Wow.
No.
In your hair?
I'm glad I was wearing my Heatwave visual glasses for that one. Little plug. Okay, guys, so we went through all of those initial, the stress test and the speed cut tests on that one maple log. That was within 1/4 of an inch diameter for all those different saws. So I thought that was pretty good. Every box tells a story. Let's see what Scott says. Oh, that was right on the money. Nice hinge wood, straight across. This guy knows what he's doing.
All right, that's what we do.
All right, guys, so Scott just grabbed his mini skid steer here to grab the tree. He's gonna pull it out, and we are going to do like a quote-unquote real-world limbing test with all the different saws.
On this thing. So with this saw, there is no power button. All you got to do is
With
chain
the
brake
brake
off.
it just doesn't.
Yep. And then you just fold that little tab forward, and you're good to go.
Cuts through nice. Again, it's a little bulky, but yeah, pretty nice. I like it. It goes right through the limbs, nice and easy. Let me try the Stihl out. I like this Milwaukee though. I think that's a...
Anything about like it's a wide body?
The only thing I don't like is you have to push this forward. It just kind of jams into your hand a little bit. It's not like the Stihl. You just grab it and go. All right, that's nice having the light on there. Oh yeah. It definitely feels like a professional grade saw. It did start to die down there a little bit, unless my finger came off that. I might have just taken my hand off. That cuts nicely. Let me try the... Definitely a big difference between the two. On the snap cut there, the Stihl definitely goes through a lot faster. It feels more.
It maintains like
Yeah, the Stihl really feels more like a gas-powered 201. You know, it's very comparable in power and ergonomically, right? It kind of just fits in there. It fits in my hand nicely. I just want to keep cutting with that one, but I'll do another cut with this one right now.
okay.
All right, I'm going to turn on the Greenworks commercial here. Maybe push. Oh yeah, now it's green. Okay, let's see how this does. Okay, first thing I'm noticing is it seems to take a while for it to get up to full chain speed.
Mm-hmm.
You can even kind of hear it. It's like
a rev up.
Does it shut off?
Yeah, once you turn the chain brake on, it turns itself off.
Don't like that.
All right, so
Don't like that.
Makita and the Stihl are going to do the same thing.
Really? Every
Yeah.
time you hit the chain brake, you have to turn it back on.
Well, so there's a longer time frame on those when it shuts off, but if you leave the chain brake off and you take your hand off of the safeties, it's going to shut off.
Huh. Yeah, back to the chain speed. You can hear it like revs up. I don't know how many seconds that is, but that's a couple seconds. So definitely a factor there. Overall, like size, shape, weight, you know, I don't have any major comments on that. It's a nice size. It seems to be pretty compact. Tree climbers and stuff, they all, I think, have like these hooks, which is pretty big. The weight, as you can see here, it's definitely battery heavy, but I think they'll all probably be that way. I'd say my biggest gripe about this is the whole power thing. I think that could take some time to get used to. Okay, here we got the Makita GCU03. This is using the 40 volt, 5 amp hour. So, to turn it on, green light, chain brake off. Okay, that was simpler to like turn on. I found the other one, you get a red light to turn it on, then you have to hit it again for a green light. Let's see the chain speed. Oh. That's pretty like instantaneous. I think it starts at a higher, faster, chain speed. That's pretty fast. That's
might have to pass that one.
nice. I like that. That's good. I think this application is perfect for this type of saw, and it feels good. I don't know, all these are rubberized. I really like this. Take off the glove and feel that. It feels good on your hand.
Oh yeah.
It's like almost massaging.
This is light. This is
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for rubberized and having grip, but
I
something
think
about
if
those
you could
bumps.
get this for a decent price, I would definitely consider this saw.
All right,
I think you're talking under
so
$500
here, as far as
Saw, battery, charger.
weight distribution, again, battery heavy. Okay, we got a green light when I hit the power button. It's flashing.
Means chain brake is on.
Chain brake is on. Okay, chain brake is off. Solid. That takes a second after you hit the trigger.
Yeah.
That's a good, like, 1 second delay, I'd say.
Try it. Cut the bigger one.
I think, to Scott's point, this is a limbing saw. Pruning, limbing. I don't see doing a full takedown or removal of any, adequate size. I'd say, this is a good saw for this size tree, but any larger diameter, I'm sure it could go through it, but I think you're going to start sacrificing time at that point. But for something to, just have on the bucket truck or have in the pickup truck or something, this is a great little saw. It's super tiny, compact. I bet with this smaller battery, it's only 2.5 amp hours. I bet it charges up pretty quick.
It does, yeah. What do you have for battery life right now? Like how much?
Right now, we are at 3 green lights out of 4, so 3/4.
So you've done at least 2 speed tests. You've done a little bit of limbing. We've only used maybe a quarter of a battery.
Quarter of a
So
battery.
you could theoretically get some pretty good runtime out of that small battery.
I think you could get, again, like if you were taking down this tree and processing it, granted you don't have a huge 18-inch chipper or something to just suck it through at once. But like for me with my 8-inch woodmaxx chipper, it doesn't like real crotchy stuff because it's a PTO chipper. So I think this, I currently use the Milwaukee hatchet, which is like a little tiny saw. I think this would be a nice step up for an application like that where you gotta, cut some branches
Did you
off.
find it bouncing at all? Like
The balance, I mean,
bouncing.
bouncing?
bouncing. Yeah, it bounced a little bit when I was doing this. Let's try that again. I didn't really focus on that. Wasn't bouncing, if I just let gravity do the work. Didn't seem too bad. But again, that's smaller. I wonder if we were to go up to larger diameter wood, it would kind of bog it down and make it skip a little bit more. Overall, nice, nice saw for what it is.
So that actually has 2 cutting modes. So if I hold down the power button, now in 2, so now, watch yourself. That's actually a higher speed mode. So more battery drain, but it's gonna be faster and more powerful.
So if you're limbing, you could do the lower speed and cutting wood. I guess you would want higher speed.
Yeah, I think I would probably keep it in higher speed all the time if it was.
Well, right, but I'm trying to see
Right. I mean, if you're trying
the
to
reason
preserve,
why they have
maybe
that.
these are your last 2 batteries and you're trying to preserve it to finish the job or something, right?
Right.
Or some really, really small diameter stuff.
Right.
And you just wanna You don't need all the power, and it's more about
But,
preserving it.
you know, it's like a chainsaw. How often are you not running at wide open throttle?
Right.
Even if you're cutting a small limb,
Why-
you're not holding the trigger at half.
So we can all agree that this is kind of unnecessary
Yeah.
and not something we would look for.
Another thing to go wrong, you know, per
and
se.
another thing to say, oh, let me sit here and hold it down till I get to, you know, the other
Right.
mode. And now it just went back to 1.
Right, because if you leave it off, like now,
So 1 is the lower speed.
Yeah.
So if you wanted the higher speed, you have to transfer it and take that time to. Now every time it shuts off, do you have to put it back?
yes.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yep.
Right,
So
I
even
think that
while
speaks for
cutting,
itself.
I mean, that wasn't more than 2 minutes there. It goes back to 1. But overall, I think it's comfortable saw.
Yeah.
I like it.
Can I see the weight, like balance on this with the 2 batteries?
It's not that it's balanced pretty well.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, all the others were like this.
Yeah, right.
You know.
And it's a small power head.
Okay, so this Husky, as we mentioned before, you got to push it forward and then down. Definitely something you can get used to. Now to turn it on, hitting the power button, lights on. There's a caution thing. I'm assuming that's the chain brake. Yep, chain brake off. Caution light goes away. See, I forgot. You got to push it forward. Chain speed seems like pretty instantaneous. It's fast. Feels pretty good. It's small, it's low profile. Put that on. Balance wise, pretty much like all the others except for that Makita. Now, what is this E? Is that like an eco mode?
Yes.
So this saw does have
That
2
does,
different modes.
yeah, it does have an eco mode.
So does that
you-
dumb it down for battery life?
Yeah, it's more. It's going to give you. It's going to preserve the battery life, give you more run
Okay.
time. So again, if you were going to be in a tree for a while, in a bucket for a while, or last battery of the day, and you're just trying to wrap up before it's time to go home, you could put it in that mode to try and conserve some power.
Well, that seems like an overarching issue with all of these is the battery life
Right.
and how fast for guys that are doing it day in and day out.
The saw's only as good as the battery platform to back it up and power it.
So we're in eco mode now, and E comes up, shut it off, turn it back on. Let's see how it does.
Oh, yeah, I can just hear the chain speed is a lot lower. Very smooth saw. It cuts smooth. The weight is good. I feel like the weight of the saw is like helping just guide it a little bit. Stable. It doesn't feel bouncy or shaky. You know, balance wise, left to right, dead nuts.
I think this
I mean,
is the
it's-
only one too. It gives you 2 different options for climbing rings, like for hanging it. There's actually 2.
Oh
separate
yeah,
ones.
metal and a plastic or a composite. Yeah.
How does that?
If you could figure out how to unfold it.
Well, it's just there we go. So is that
Yeah, what does that serve?
as like a backup?
Maybe it's just because you see one is like perpendicular to the saw and one is parallel to the saw body. I mean, maybe
Oh,
depending upon how
so if you were
want to
going
hang.
like that versus depending how you want to grab it, I guess.
Maybe.
But why would one be plastic and one be metal?
Yeah.
That I mean, this plastic one, it does look like it's pretty easily replaceable with just a Torx screw, so I'm sure it'll hold up. I don't know how long. That's pretty flimsy plastic. The metal one is a little bit more sturdy, but I'm guessing if you're hanging it like that versus like that kind of thing.
Which is how you want to hang it.
How you feel comfortable going to grab it off your saddle kind of thing. Or maybe it's a left and right kind of deal, which side you put it on. Interesting.
So I gotta push that button in on the side, and that's not
Try doing
definitely.
it lefty. Try being a lefty and doing
No
that.
way,
It's impossible.
dude. No, not user friendly at all. Because my thumb barely fits in there to push that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
no, it's a hard no.
Yeah,
You almost have to use like the side of your thumb in order to get in there.
You can't get your thumb in there.
So they sacrificed an electronic on-off button for triple redundant safeties, I guess.
Well, and this is the edge around this is too big to.
If it was just a button
Yeah.
without the edge, the guard
Yeah.
around it, it wouldn't be that bad.
Although I guess my thumb can just push it in slightly, so it doesn't have to go in far. But it cuts all right. It's just not comfortable. It's not comfortable in my hand at all. I think my biggest thing is that the grip here is not. I mean, it cuts all right. It's definitely a little bit slower, but it's just not user friendly, I'd say.
Well, all right, guys, that is all the time that Chris and I have today. We have to boogie out of here a little bit early, so we're not going to have all the final results from all of the testing, but I hope this gives you a solid idea of what all these saws are capable of doing. Wes is going to finish up the testing and get me some numbers, and I will include that probably, I don't know, somewhere in the video, depending on how I edit it.
What ends up happening usually, Jake, and just so you guys know, is at Toolbox Buzz, when we do these head-to-head comparison tests, it's a lot. It's a lot of just raw data and raw information that we then have to take back and kind of compile into something that's digestible.
Right.
So what ends up happening is you're going to see a full write-up article with videos and data and information on our website, toolboxbuzz.com, as well as you'll see a full video on our YouTube channel page, which, you know, I'm fortunate enough that Jake and I got hooked up because the world was an incredibly small place.
Yeah.
And just through happenstance got to meet each other, and I really wanted to include him in this test and get some feedback, and I really like the content that he's putting out, so it seemed like a natural fit for what we're trying to do here today. So we'll absolutely have the ability to kind of cross-link and we'll, you know, post on each other's accounts and share links and stuff for the article whenever we get to it, okay?
Absolutely. I will definitely be putting the link to the article and your YouTube video down in the description, as well as tagging Toolbox Buzz in the description and title. So thank you very much, Wes, for having us out here.
Glad you could make it.
Pleasure meeting you, Scott. And Dan. Yep. The man with all the numbers. So that is the rundown. So as always, guys, if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down below. Questions, comments, or feedback, throw it down in the comments section. But for now, I'm Jake.
I'm Chris.
I'm Scott.
Wes.
Dan.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys here next time.